There's a critical moment in wealth building when you finally reach $100,000, and what you do next determines whether you multiply it into millions or destroy it completely. Most people make catastrophic mistakes with their first six figures because nobody warns them about the traps waiting at this threshold. They blow it on status purchases, bad investments, or lifestyle inflation, and 15 years later, they're still broke despite earning six figures for decades. The truth is, $100,000 is a test. It's enough money to either accelerate your path to financial freedom or derail it permanently. I'm Kyle, and today I'm breaking down the 10 things you should never do with $100,000, the mistakes that destroy wealth, the psychological traps that keep people broke, and exactly what to do instead to turn six figures into 7 or 8. If you've reached $100,000 or you're close, this could be the most important financial advice you ever receive. One wrong move can cost you millions in lost compound growth. Let's dive in. Here's the core concept. $100,000 is the inflection point where money starts working for you instead of you working for money. At this threshold, compound interest becomes visible and powerful. 8 to 10% annual returns generate $8,000 to $10,000 passively, which is meaningful income. But this is also where most people sabotage themselves. They see six figures and think they're rich, triggering spending decisions that destroy the foundation they just built. The principle is simple. $100,000 should be treated as the beginning of wealth building, not the end. It's not money to spend, it's capital to deploy. Every dollar at this stage has decades of compound growth ahead of it. A dollar wasted now is $10 to $20 lost in the future. The people who become wealthy understand that $100,000 is a milestone to celebrate privately, then immediately shift focus to $250,000, then $500,000, then $1 million. The people who stay broke treat $100,000 as permission to inflate lifestyle, which resets progress to zero. Here's why people destroy $100,000. Reaching six figures triggers psychological shifts that undermine discipline. First, there's the relief response. You've been grinding for years, and finally hitting $100,000 feels like permission to relax and reward yourself. This leads to splurges that drain the account. Second, there's status signaling. Six figures feels like real wealth, so you want to look the part. This drives luxury purchases that signal success but destroy capital. Third, there's overconfidence. You think you've figured out money, so you take bigger risks or make emotional investment decisions. Fourth, there's lifestyle inflation. You upgrade housing, cars, and spending to match your new net worth, locking in higher expenses permanently. The psychological trap is thinking $100,000 means you've made it. But in reality, $100,000 is just the foundation. It's enough to feel wealthy, but not enough to sustain wealth long term. The people who multiply it into millions resist these psychological triggers completely. They maintain the same discipline that got them to six figures and apply it for another decade.
Quick pause. Christmas and the New Year are coming. What do you want to achieve in this new cycle? Let me know in the comments.
Let's break down the 10 fatal mistakes. 1. Don't buy a luxury car. It's a depreciating liability that destroys capital. 2. Don't upgrade housing beyond your means. Higher mortgage locks in expenses and limits investing capacity. 3. Don't quit your job without a plan. $100,000 isn't enough to live on indefinitely. You need continued income. 4. Don't invest in individual stocks or crypto gambling. Concentrated bets usually fail. 5. Don't lend money to family or friends. You'll never see it again, and relationships will suffer. 6. Don't leave it in cash. Inflation erodes purchasing power. Deploy it into investments. 7. Don't tell everyone. Announcing wealth attracts requests, scams, and resentment. 8. Don't splurge on status symbols. Designer goods and luxury experiences drain capital without building wealth. 9. Don't start a business without testing the concept first. Most businesses fail, destroying your capital. 10. Don't assume you're set. $100,000 is the beginning, not the end. Each mistake is common and devastating. Avoiding them is more important than knowing advanced investment strategies.
Here's what to do instead. Keep living like you have $50,000 or less. Maintain your modest lifestyle completely. Invest the entire $100,000 immediately into diversified index funds or retirement accounts. Let it compound untouched for decades. Continue saving aggressively. Aim to reach $250,000 within 3 to 5 years by maintaining or increasing your savings rate. Automate everything: contributions, rebalancing, bill payments, so discipline is systematized, not reliant on willpower. Increase income strategically. Use your financial stability to negotiate raises, switch jobs, or pursue higher-paying opportunities. Stay invisible. Don't tell anyone your net worth. Stealth wealth protects you from social pressure and exploitation. Educate yourself. Read about investing, tax optimization, and wealth preservation. Track progress obsessively. Measure net worth monthly and optimize for growth rate. The pattern is clear. Reaching $100,000 should change nothing about your lifestyle, but everything about your trajectory. You're not rich yet. You're positioned to become rich if you maintain discipline. Let's address the psychological resistance. I've been grinding for years to reach $100,000. Don't I deserve to enjoy it? This mindset is the trap. You do deserve enjoyment, but enjoyment doesn't require destroying your capital. The reframe. The real reward isn't spending $100,000 now, it's the freedom it creates in 10 to 20 years if you let it compound. Spending it now gives you temporary pleasure and permanent regret. Investing it gives you delayed gratification but permanent freedom. The math is brutal. $100,000 spent today is gone forever. $100,000 invested at 10% for 20 years becomes $673,000. You're not choosing between enjoyment and misery, you're choosing between 20 years of work and 10 years of work. The people who spend their first $100,000 work until they die. The people who invest it retire early. Both groups worked hard to reach 6 figures. The difference is, one group celebrated by spending, the other group celebrated by doubling down. Which future do you want?
Here's what happens if you blow $100,000 on mistakes. You'll reset to zero financially, losing years of progress in months. You'll lock in higher expenses through lifestyle inflation, making it harder to save in the future. You'll lose compound growth forever. The opportunity cost of spending $100,000 now is $673,000 in 20 years, meaning you lost over $500,000 in future wealth. You'll experience regret and stress as you realize the mistake, but by then it's too late to recover the time. You'll still be working in your 60s while people who preserved their $100,000 retired in their 40s. The brutal reality: most people reach 6 figures multiple times in their lives through savings, bonuses, inheritances, or windfalls, and destroy it every time. They never escape financial mediocrity because they repeat the same mistakes. Meanwhile, disciplined people reach $100,000 once, preserve it, and compound it into millions. The difference isn't income or luck. It's decision-making at the critical inflection point. Let's compare 2 people who each reach $100,000 at age 35. Person A celebrates by buying a luxury car, upgrading their apartment, taking an expensive vacation, and telling everyone about their success. Within 2 years, they've spent $40,000 and their lifestyle costs $10,000 more annually. By 40, they're back to $50,000 saved because lifestyle inflation prevented continued accumulation. By 50, they have $200,000 because they never regained momentum. At 65, they have $500,000, not enough to retire comfortably. Person B does nothing visible when they hit $100,000. They invest it entirely, continue living modestly, and keep saving aggressively. By 40, they have $300,000. By 50, $1.2 million. At 65, $4 million. They retire at 55 with $2.5 million, a decade early, fully financially independent. Same starting point, same initial $100,000, but person A destroyed it through mistakes and ended up working forever. Person B preserved it and achieved financial freedom. The 10-year difference in retirement age and $3 million wealth gap came down to decisions made at the $100,000 threshold. Here's the advanced strategy. Use $100,000 as the launch pad for exponential growth. First, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. backdoor Roth conversions, max-out 401k, HSA contributions. This reduces taxable income while accelerating growth. Second, optimize asset allocation. Shift from pure accumulation to tax-efficient placement. Hold bonds in tax-deferred accounts, stocks in taxable accounts for favorable capital gains treatment. Third, establish systems for continued growth. Set automatic increases in contributions annually so you're always escalating savings rate. Fourth, leverage stability for income growth. With $100,000 saved, you can negotiate aggressively, switch jobs without fear, or pursue entrepreneurial ventures with a safety net. Fifth, create accountability. Share your goal with a trusted mentor or advisor who checks in quarterly. Sixth, reframe milestones. $100,000 isn't the goal. $250,000 is. Then $500,000, then $1 million. Always be chasing the next threshold. This mindset shift prevents complacency and maintains intensity. The advanced move isn't complex investing. It's maintaining beginner discipline while your wealth grows exponentially.
Let's talk about obstacles. I need a reliable car and my current one is dying. Can't I buy something decent? Yes, but buy a reliable used car, not a luxury vehicle. A $15,000 Toyota serves the same purpose as a $60,000 BMW, and the $45,000 difference compounds into $300,000 over 20 years. My rent is increasing. Shouldn't I buy a house? Only if the mortgage payment is equal to or less than your current rent and you plan to stay 10+ years. Otherwise, you're locking in higher costs. I want to start a business. Isn't $100,000 a good starting point? Test your business idea with $5,000 first. If it works, scale with cash flow, not your savings. Most businesses fail. Protect your capital. What if I die before I can enjoy my money? Statistically unlikely, and even if true, your heirs benefit. The alternative, spending everything and working until you die, is a guarantee, not a risk. The obstacles are real, but the solutions don't require destroying your $100,000. Make strategic, modest decisions that preserve capital while addressing legitimate needs. The people who turn $100,000 into millions share specific traits. They feel no psychological relief when they hit six figures. They stay hungry. They maintain the exact same lifestyle that got them to $100,000, refusing all lifestyle inflation. They invest immediately and aggressively, viewing cash as a wasting asset. They tell nobody about their net worth, practicing stealth wealth to avoid social pressure. They set new goals instantly, $250,000, then $500,000, so momentum never stops. They view $100,000 as the starting line, not the finish line. They automate everything, so discipline is structural, not emotional. They track net worth obsessively, optimizing for growth rate above all else. They're comfortable being boring, no flashy purchases, no status signaling, no keeping up with anyone. By their 40s, they're millionaires, while peers who reached $100,000 at the same time are still broke because they celebrated with spending instead of compounding. The difference wasn't intelligence or luck, it was treating $100,000 as sacred capital to preserve and multiply, not disposable income to spend. At the core, reaching $100,000 is a test of discipline and vision. The 10 mistakes, luxury cars, lifestyle inflation, status spending, poor investments, telling everyone, destroy wealth at the exact moment it could start compounding exponentially. The winners avoid all 10 traps, preserve their capital, and maintain discipline for another decade. This turns 6 figures into 7 or 8 figures, creating financial freedom decades ahead of peers. The choice is yours. Spend $100,000 and reset to zero, or invest it and accelerate toward millions. Start today. If you have $100,000, audit your plan. Are you making any of the 10 mistakes? If so, course correct immediately. If you're approaching $100,000, commit now to avoiding these traps when you arrive.
And if you're early in the journey, internalize this lesson. Reaching six figures means nothing if you destroy it through bad decisions. Tell me in the comments, have you reached $100,000 and what did you do with it? Or what will you do when you get there? This is the moment. This is the test. This is where wealth building becomes real. Let's pass it together.
If you stayed until the end, you're clearly serious about improving your finances. Subscribe and help us reach 100K. And before you go, watch this next video. It could be exactly what you need for your financial journey.